Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Spring Forward podcast. It is me, your host, Spring Richardson-Perry, and our lovely little co host, Miss Winter, who is falling asleep. It is nap time for her. But I am super excited to bring you guys today Miss Heather Vickery. She is a celebrated public speaker, a global leader, and a transformational success coach. She gives people the tools that they need to trust themselves to live out their true purpose. And this is what I'm really interested in, to learn how she does that. What are the tools that she gives people so that they can step into their power, as I like to say? She's also an author. She's the host of two of her own podcasts. One is called Was It Chance? The other one is called And the Brave Files. And so Heather is going to help you break the rules so that you can achieve those seemingly unrealistic dreams. So without further ado, let us bring on Miss Heather.
Hi,
Hello.
hi, how are you?
I am good. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm great. Thank you for having me. I love that your baby's just sleeping in your arms and A that she will and B that you're modeling that for people like y'all, there are so many ways to do the thing. It's so cool.
So many ways to do the thing. And like I was saying before, there are so many people that ask me, well, how are you doing this with a 9 month old? And then I have a 6 year old, a 7 year old, and a 12 year old. And
Oh,
then
so
we have
none
a
of yours are teenagers yet. That explains a lot, Spring.
Oh, just wait. We have a 17-year-old,
Okay.
my husband's daughter, my bonus daughter, that lives with us. But between the two of us, we have nine altogether.
Oh
But
wow. Oh, I thought 4 was a lot.
but four of my husband's kids are adults, and then
Okay.
we have his 17-year-old that lives with us, and then my three that are 6, 7, and 12, and then this little one is ours together, who is 9 months. So we have lots and lots of fun stuff going on in our house, but
Wow.
it is absolutely possible for you to do the thing, whatever that thing is for you. And
Yeah.
so I'm excited to really have Heather talk to us about that today and tell us how she helps her clients to do the thing. And so, what I want to really start off with is how you got into doing this work. Tell us your story and your journey up to this point. This is going to be fun, I can tell. So, let's hear it.
All right. Well, it is a fun question and kind of an unusual, I think, interesting answer. So I'll start with the business side of it. I realized very quickly out of college that while I worked well with people, I did not work well for them. And so I started my own business in my very early 20s doing events and weddings. I had a background in event and wedding planning. I'd been doing nonprofit and then corporate events and all sorts of different things. So I was like, nope, you know what? I don't want to work for anybody. I'm going to start my own thing. And I think about doing that. That was like, 25 years ago. I think about that. Like, how did I do that? How did I do that? I don't know how I did that. We didn't have social media. We didn't have the internet. I just did it. And then I went on this like very well sought out plan that we're told we're supposed to do. I got married, I had babies, loved my children, always wanted to have children. And I realized in my mid 30s that I was married to the wrong gender. And I wasn't sure what to do with myself with that information. Okay, do I just live with it? Do I just pretend it's not true? What do I do? And in the end, I realized that it was killing me very slowly, killing me to hide who I was and to pretend to be something and someone that I wasn't. And so I decided to come out of the closet and essentially burn my entire life to the ground and rebuild it, but this time rebuild it on my own terms and in the ways that felt aligned and right for me. Enter coaching. Coaching found me. I didn't find it. As I was doing all of these things and sharing what I was learning and being out and loud and proud and talking about the things that were really working for me in my own transformation, people started to say, I think you can help me. Will you talk to me? I think you can support me. I want to change this. I want to try this. I want to start this. I want to do this. I think you can help me. And I was like, okay, let's find out. Right. Turns out that's exactly where I'm supposed to be. And from there, I got certified as a coach, certified positive psychology, success leadership, NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming, human design, EFT tapping, like all sorts of really, really cool things. And I've created my own modality as well called the Brave Method. And I put all of these things together and I share in some really unique ways. And I really believe this is work that everybody has the right to learning to like, love, and trust yourself, to build a foundation of enoughness and worthiness from the inside out instead of looking for your answers outside and thinking somebody else is going to know what's best for you because they don't. Not even me. I don't know what's best. I can just guide and mentor, right? You have to do the work. Um, and finding ways for folks to do that that's approachable and affordable and feels good and aligned, that is what lights me up. So I think I went above your question.
No, that was perfect. You said so many things that I just want to respond to. So, number one, burning it down and building it back up. What
Yes.
a phrase, right? Like, in for you to be brave enough to take that step because you realized this isn't the life that is going to make me happy. This isn't the life that I was set out to live. So you recognize that and you did something about it. A lot
Yeah.
of times people will recognize these things, but they don't do anything about it. They sit and they live with their misery and they just say, well, that's just life, right? But you said, no, that's not going to be my life because
Yeah.
I'm going to live my life to the fullest.
Yeah.
And I have so much respect for that
Me too.
because it just, for me, I think I've gone through a similar transition in the fact that I was married to the wrong person at
Mm-hmm.
first.
Mm-hmm.
And not that it was a bad marriage at all. I think he and I just were not aligned. And we
Yeah.
have three beautiful kids together, but his goals and my goals, while they seemed like they were aligned, they weren't.
Yeah.
And the things that we valued were different, and so we were just different. And a lot of times they say opposites attract, and I believe that, but at the same time I believe that at some point that, like, as opposite as you are, if you are polar opposites, that is going to become a major problem, because where do you find that middle ground where you guys can meet in the middle? We were constantly, he and I, just seeing things completely different, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
So I
Honestly,
got go
for
ahead.
me, Spring, I feel like human design has helped me so much with that because I think it's okay. Well, first of all, I don't just think it's okay for us to be totally different. We are all really different. Even if you're not fully opposites, we are all so uniquely designed. What that requires, and maybe it just wasn't the right space. And I don't think that my marriage would have lasted even if I hadn't come out because there were some diabolically opposed things that, eventually started to show up, similar to I think what you're saying. But for a relationship that you do want to maintain, that you feel like is worth that fight, because we have to know what's worth fighting for and what's not. Human design is incredibly helpful. And it teaches us how to communicate with one another, how to be patient and understanding. It has made me so much less judgmental. Like, why would you do it like that? Why won't you listen to me? Why, all of those
Oh my
things.
gosh, let
Yeah.
me tell you, I just recently did an episode on human design. I am like fascinated with human design. Over the
Love it.
past year,
Yeah.
I have really been diving deep into it, and the accuracy is just astounding to
Yeah.
me. And so, what is your human design?
So I'm a 1-3 splenic projector and I am a human design. I'm certified. I'm a human design coach and reader and I do custom readings and all of that. Yeah, 1-3 splenic projector. What about
Same,
you? You're
exactly
stop.
the same. A one
Exactly the
three
same 1-3
splenic
splenic?
projector. Mhm.
What? That's so cool. I knew I liked you. And I
Yes.
love that. It makes sense to me. You're finding ways to work with what you got because what you could do, what a lot of people would do with a 9-month-old baby is put her down, separate everything, but then you're exhausted. You're finding ways to make it all work for you and to honor that your authority, right? And all of it's just really cool. Love that.
I love this. I really love this. And see, this is, guys, this is amazing because Heather just really solidified for me that, hey, Shirley does know what she's doing. She's talking about human design, like completely organic, unscripted, totally did not know she was into human design, and recently did a podcast show on human design specifically about the different ones and into in detail, because I had another person who studied it and is certified in it as well. And so I think that this is absolutely amazing that you use this in your work.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about so you use human design, but you also talked about the brave method. And
Yeah.
so I want you to talk to us about how you define intentional bravery
Yeah.
and why is this important for personal and professional success.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. So I actually wrote a book on it. It's on that side. I don't know. It's mirroring me. It's over there. It's called F Fearless. I don't know if I can say that word on your show or not, but I'm a fan. So anyway, the Brave Method is my creative strategic approach to problem solving, dreaming, designing, building, and actually having a life that you are madly in love with. So Brave is an acronym. It stands for boundaries, what I call the 3 R's: reassessment, reframing, resilience, action and accountability, vulnerability. And then the E is your result: expansion and empowerment. And I want to go there because that's the secret sauce, y'all. The expansion and empowerment is the gift you give yourself. I can't do that for you. I can't do it for you. Nobody can do it for you. You have to show up for yourself and do the work in order to expand and empower yourself. And so you can use the Brave method. You can set those boundaries, have clear communication, good accountability systems, reset, recess, reframe, get up and do it again differently. All of those things. We pull human design in, we bring NLP in, all sorts of tools and tips and resources, but you have to do that work and you have to want to. It's actually why I created the Spark Collective, which is an $8 a month membership so that you can see how easy it is to show up for yourself, to love yourself, to trust yourself, to build up your intuition, to grow your own inner awareness and knowing in just a few minutes a day, just a few times a week. I made it $8 a month because I don't want anybody to say, oh, I don't have time for that, or oh, I can't afford that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And if you can't afford $8 a month, come and talk to me and we will find a way to get you in, because it is so important to me. And the Brave method is literally like, when I was burning it down and rebuilding it, those are the things that I did. I'm also certified in positive psychology, so many certifications, but all of this is like, you get to decide who you want to be and how you want to be. And here's something that's just really lovely. You get to decide every minute of every day, and you can change your mind, right? Like, you can maybe not love who you are this minute of this day. You can do something different the next one. Every day is a new opportunity. You're not stuck. You don't have to repeat behaviors and choices. You can shift it whenever you want. That is how you expand and empower yourself. And the Brave method is a really fun approach to doing that. It works. It's a 360 approach. I've had people build businesses off of it. I've had people grieve the loss of loved ones with it and everything in between. And in my, I can't do it. In my book that's over my shoulder, I break it down. It's a little bit memoir and case studies with people on my podcast and clients that I've worked with, and then also action items. I call them brave and action prompts, things you can literally go out and do right now to grow that.
I absolutely love that. This is so inspiring because,
Thank you.
for one thing, I was like having all the emotions this morning because I was just like I did not sleep well last night because
Sorry.
this little bit was just so squirmy and just
Yeah.
up all night and up and down, up and down. So I just didn't sleep well. So I woke up grumpy and I was like, what am I doing today? And then I have a sick 6-year-old here
Oh
today.
no.
He was sent home from school yesterday with a fever. So he stayed home because he's still kind of spiking here and there. So I just was like in a mood this morning, and I was just like, what am I really doing? Like, what is happening in my life? And so I'm like reassessing everything, thinking my life is just over and everything is just horrible. And in my mind, nothing is right. And then I had some things happen this morning that was like, okay, Spring, it's not that bad. Like, settle down. You'll be okay. So I love that you encourage people to feel the feels and know that you don't have to,
Yeah.
that feeling isn't going to necessarily last, but also that you can change your mind and it's okay to
Yeah.
do that, because society will make us think that you have to pick something and stick to it and that's it. You can't do anything different. So
Not
I
true.
love that
Yeah.
you are really incorporating this, but also I love that you're teaching people to lean into their intuition.
Mhm.
Because that was another thing. I did an episode about intuition, and there was a lady who works with people to actually, specifically with women, to lean into their intuition, to hone their leadership skills. And so I really love that you're doing this to really empower people, right? Because that gut feeling usually means something.
Oh my gosh.
Don't ignore it. So, talk to us about how you're doing that, how you're helping people to listen to their intuition, and like, what does that really mean?
Yeah, your intuition is such a powerful resource. And just really quickly, before I go down that path, there you said something that I would be remiss if I didn't speak on it. Is it is really crucial to be honest about the things that we're feeling. There's got to be radical self compassion and acceptance, not judgment of your feelings. When I said I'm certified in positive psychology, that does not mean pretend everything's good and happy all the time. And you can't connect with your intuition if you're pretending that it's all fine, or if you're pretending that it's all shit, because that's not true either. There's always something that's for you in it. Even in and I know that there's some people who get, feel really sensitive about that. I am not advocating for anything that's causing harm. That's not okay. But find what works for you within whatever circumstances life gives you and use it to your advantage, because you can't change anyone but yourself. You can't control anyone but yourself. But when you change yourself, the people around you change. When you start listening to your intuition, and the work that I do isn't just in helping people hear it, it's not just about helping you hear your intuition, it's actually about helping you feel it. And human design is a huge component in that. Once you can identify what your intuition feels like in your body, and it is literally different for each and every one of us. I have seen hundreds of different ways people embody their intuition. All of the sudden, you are able to move into action, move into decision making, whether you're making something massive happen, or maybe the decision is, I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to take a bath for the rest of the day. I'm going to cancel this whole day's worth of appointments and interviews and take a nap with my sick kid. It can be anything that you want, but you can feel your answers. And when you know that, it is so much easier to go forward confidently and with strength and with confidence into building a life that is for you, that is aligned for you, that lights you up. When you live that life, you model that behavior for everyone else. They see it. They're like, I want some of that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Like, it, you know, don't ignore that feeling that you feel, guys. And I
Mm-mm.
love how Heather tells you that it is important that you actually acknowledge those feelings and you lean into those feelings, because honestly, today I really was going to cancel my whole day. I was going to say, you know what? I'm just not feeling it today. But there was
And that
something
would have
in me.
been fine too, right? Like, it would have been fine.
Right. But then there was something in me, because normally when I feel like that, it's like a feeling, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna relax today because something is like weighing me down. But today it was a feeling where I was like, I was grumpy, I was exhausted, but I also had this feeling in me like, spring, just wait it out. Just see what happens.
That's your spleen.
And I it is. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad I did. And you know what's really interesting about human design is the accuracy of it all. The a 1-3
So
spleen,
good.
like a 1-3 splenic projector. And so when I'm feeling some sort of anxiousness or anxiety or anything that is intuition based for me, it literally comes from my gut. And so like it's just fascinating to me. But I could
Super fascinating. I know.
talk about human design all day, and
Me too.
like you're,
Me
and
too.
then
I
you're
use
certified.
it.
I love that you're a certified positive psychologist.
Oh, thank you.
My undergrad degrees in psychology, and my PhD that I'm working on right now is in industrial organizational psych. And so, yes, you
Ooh,
have to do
wow. Good stuff. Yeah, it's
that.
good stuff. I actually use human design transits. I do a weekly intuitive journal prompt in the Spark Collective, which is the membership that I mentioned. And so, for those of you who are following along and geeking out on human design, like Spring and I are, if you look at your chart and you see all those numbers within all of the centers, those are gates, and certain gates are alive each week for everybody. So even if you don't normally have that access to that particular energy, you have it that week. And so I use intuitive journal prompts every single week in the Spark Collective, pulled from that, so that you can just sort of tap into this deeper level of intuition and expansion. So it's just fun.
So, yes, that's the next order of business for me, is to get into the gates, because I haven't gotten into that part of it
It's
yet. I'm
it's a
still
lot. It's intense.
a lot, but it's so super fascinating and interesting. And so I can't wait to dive more into this. But you are, girl, you are into a lot and you are doing a lot. And so how do you take care of you? Like, what do you do
Yeah.
to balance your life?
Thank you for asking. There, it is a lot. It is a lot. But I am all projector. Projectors have to rest before we're successful, and I have learned to love the rest part of me. So I do it with time blocking and flexibility. Once a month, I take a no call week. So the third week of every month, I close my books, no calls. I can do work, I can play, I can rest, I can take baths in the middle of the day, take my kid to the movies, like whatever I want to do, which fills my cup up. And then I really do use all of the tools that I share with other people and that I teach people on. I use EFT tapping, guided visualization, meditation. I'll do some NLP work, which is sort of future path work or dream weaving work to sort of connect myself. I have a hypnotherapist that I work with who I adore, and I'm getting certified in that. I'm certified again. I know it's the 1 3. It's the 1 3. Love to learn and then love to share. So I listen to my body. My body always knows the right thing. And I try to be really consistent and flexible in listening. But I've also built my schedule in a way that has lots of time for me to be slow and to connect and to nurture myself. I do a lot of reading, actual reading and audiobook listening, reading. All of those sorts of things fill my bucket as well. And I'm just really intentional about prioritizing those things because I know I'm a better version of me, a happier, healthier, more joy-filled version of me when I do that. So I serve my clients better. I'm definitely a better parent, a better partner, better community member, all of those things. Really super, super important. I take a bath all the time with Epsom salts, and actually I use magnesium flakes, which get into the bloodstream faster than Epsom salts, and essential oils. Just some time for solitude. I do a weekly live show every single week. And that's my weekly live show this week is um, you need to spend quiet time with yourself. I've gave myself a thumbs up. Cool. I didn't know that StreamYard would do that. That's how I feel about it too, StreamYard.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing, because I don't even know where that came from, but that was awesome. And I love all of these things. And let me tell you, before I really started getting into human design, I thought something was wrong with me,
Yeah, me too.
because I felt like I needed more rest than normal. I know that for me, quiet time and meditation is what really, like, brings me back to my alignment, to my center. So I really need that time to really pray and to really reconnect with my spirit and get back,
Yeah.
just get back into me, in my head, out of my head, whatever. But it's like, if it's constantly going around me,
Yeah.
I freak out. and like I'm no good to anybody. And then I start to just kind of retreat into a shell, and then it takes forever to coax me out of my shell.
Yeah. I mean,
And
that
so,
is literally the whole point in the work that I do is you can't be the person you want to be in the world for others if you can't be the person you want to be in the world for yourself.
and that's the thing, is like I felt bad because it was like people were expecting certain things and for you to be a certain way, and it was like I'm just not, and like I'm not apologizing for it anymore. And I've
Nope.
learned
Yeah.
that, like, especially throughout the course of my divorce with my first husband, I learned so much about me that I was just like, you know what? It is what it is. And
Yeah.
this is me. This is who y'all are gonna get. And if you don't like it, you ain't gotta stick around.
That's right.
That's what
Yeah.
happened.
My limiting voice for as long as I can remember has always been that, I don't work hard enough. Oh, Heather, you're so lazy. You don't work hard enough. And now having this language of understanding myself completely and living into myself completely, I'm like, no, I'm just different than everybody else, and I can be just as successful and just as strong. I don't have to work like everybody else. That's not my paradigm. I'm not supposed to do that. And it has been such a gift.
But you say you're not working as hard as everybody else, but girl, you got like 1,000 certifications. You're working on the 1,001, and then you have all these different things that you're doing. So I beg to differ. I think you're
Well,
working maybe harder than some people, but
differently. I work differently.
different.
I rest a
Exactly.
lot.
Yeah.
I rest a lot. And I prioritize that. And I prioritize my alone time. I prioritize quality time doing things that bring me joy. I would not be able to do all of the other things if I didn't. And I really space it out. I really do. Um, but perception, creates reality. So,
Yes. but but I get it, because I miss that quiet time, and I miss having that time to myself with this little
yeah.
one here with me, which she's going to be starting daycare really soon, like within the next week or so.
Okay.
So I get my time back. I get my essentially I feel like I get my power back,
Yeah, I
because
understand that.
yeah, because I love this beautiful little baby girl, don't get me wrong, and she's so sweet and cuddly to
She
have
is.
around.
I wish I was snuggling with her right now. I miss babies.
But I also miss having that quiet time, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so I may get it here and there when it comes to her like taking a nap, or she's just kind of chilling for a little bit, which is I'm always very appreciative of. But it's still different because I need that solitude, that
Yeah.
alone time, that
Yes.
it's important. And I didn't realize how important it was until I didn't have it anymore.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I'm like, ooh, like, Spring, this is a part of who you are. Like, you really have to make time for you to be by
Yeah.
yourself, because otherwise you are not going to be you. It's like that Snickers commercial when you turn into a completely different person until you eat your Snickers. So I'm like a completely different
Yes,
person.
that's a great visual. I can feel that completely. A few years ago, I started taking solo retreats. Now, that's a very difficult thing to do when you actually have an infant. But I it started with 24 hours, and I went detox. I was like, here is the name of the hotel I am at. If there is an emergency, I locked my phone and my computer in my car, like in my trunk, and detoxed, which is like you shake for a little bit at first. And then it was started at 24 hours. And then I went to 48. Then it was 3 days. And the most I've done now is 5 days. And I can literally go 5 days and I bring in my groceries and I bring my journals and my books and whatever I want to work on. And I do not talk to another person for 5 days. And I would not have thought I could do that. And I love it. And it fills me up so much to be able to have that space, to be able to look forward to it, to just just be with myself. Learning that I am incredible to be with has been such a gift.
Oh, that's awesome. I remember I did something like that. I went to Costa Rica with one of my friends. She and I,
Mm,
it was a birthday trip for me back in 2021. And um, it was incredible. I
yeah.
think I probably, maybe the whole time we were there, maybe had my phone a couple of times or so. But
Mhm.
it was really just being able to just be disconnected and just to really just be in the moment and enjoy the present, because so much for me, I'm always, what's next, who needs this, where are we going, I have to get this one from here, take them over there, and this, I got to do this, got to do
Yep.
that,
Yep.
everything is like, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 constantly. And so when I finally got the chance to just be in the moment, it was just beautiful. And it was so rejuvenating. And it brought so much
Mm.
clarity. And I think as projectors for us, that is really what gives us our fuel to be able to sort of go into like this grind mode. And we get so much more done
Yes.
than the average
Yeah.
person would in a smaller amount of time. And then we
Absolutely.
go into hibernation mode for a little while.
Without a doubt. Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
Oh, I have truly enjoyed this conversation, Heather. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing your insight with us. This has been great. And I found another human design buddy. I'm
I
excited.
know. Thank you. It has been so much fun. I love that you're a 1-3 splenic projector. Had no idea that Bris is so joy filled. Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure to just chat with you and connect. And I feel so glowy from this conversation.
Me too. And let me tell y'all, like, first of all, projectors only make up 20% of the population. So let's start there, because the main people are the manifestors, the generators, and the manifesting generators. So the the projectors are on the smaller end of the population. So it's crazy that she and I are both projectors. But then to both be 1-3 splenic
I
projectors,
know.
that is nuts. And so I am just fascinated, super excited, and so thankful to have had this conversation with you. If people want to connect with you, or if they want to work with you or find out more about you, how do they do that?
Thank you for asking. Yes, I'm super easy to find. My website is vickeryandco.com. And from there, you can find all of my social media links. You can learn about the Spark Collective, $8 a month. Come and join us. It will be the best thing you do for yourself all month, I promise. On the first Friday of every month, I host a free manifestation power hour. So come and join us. We just manifest collectively and put our desires out into the world and start taking inspired actions. That's always fun. I do a live show every single Thursday at 11 a.m. Central on all the platforms. You can't miss me. But I would love, 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 love to connect with any of you. If you found me here, find me on one of the social platforms and say hi, mention spring, and maybe I'll give you a little gift.
That is awesome. See, guys, just all sorts of goodness here. It's the projectors that you really want to be friends with.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
We are the special ones. Oh, it has been such a pleasure, Heather. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. Guys, I hope that you took lots of things away from this conversation today. Heather dropped some serious gems during our conversation. So if you missed it, run it back and listen to it again, because there's some good stuff in there. So thanks for joining us, guys. And until next time on the Spring Forward podcast.
Thank you.